We've got Mr. Deepak Jain, the President and Head of Sales at Edelweiss Mutual Fund, joining us on the show. Deepak, hi, good afternoon. Good to be speaking with you. We've had my colleague Mitali a second ago. She was just breaking down these numbers. Before I talk to you about your view on the AUM and the inflows that we've seen, let's talk about the SIP number, looking good at 31,700 crore, second highest ever SIP inflow. And when the market was seeing a little bit of a glut, you'd expect there to be more investments in direct equity. But we've seen very robust moves coming in the SIP pool as well. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a great story to talk about. I think this talks about resilience of Indian investors and their belief in long-term wealth creation through SIPs. I mean, if you look at last 2.5 years of market numbers, I mean, March 24 Nifty was 22,100. Today we are at 24,100. It's about not even 10%. But if you look at the SIP number from 19,000 in March 24 to 32,000 almost at a peak, which we saw in March 26, you're talking about 70% more flows coming through SIPs in 2 years when the markets have been. This is nothing but maturity and resilience of Indian investors and their belief in the long-term opportunity SIP offers through mutual fund.
Looks like that is the picture, because look at the numbers we've seen on the total and equity AUM front as well, right? The total AUM inflow has been, the total AUM has come in at 82.2 lakh crores. There's been a net outflow, but the net equity inflow has come to the tune of 98,973 crore rupees. Deepak, give us your sense on this total AUM and the equity AUM number that we're seeing, second highest on record and looking good over here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So buoyed by two things. One, the June MTM, both on large cap and mid cap and small caps. So that has really helped the numbers. Also, if you look at net inflow from equity point of view, those numbers were very strong. Only on some fixed income, which is a quarterly phenomenon. June quarter, we have seen some liquid outflow. But if you look at quarter as a whole, we have seen 3 lakh crores net inflow coming in, which is a big number given the fact that economy has been a little patchy. We have seen globally things be a little patchy. Even given those circumstances, I think these are fantastic numbers.
Just Deepak, looking at the split between the large cap fund inflow, mid cap and small cap, and while all of them have seen an inflow on a month-on-month basis, I think the biggest jump we've seen is coming in the large and the mid end of the basket. How are you looking at the trend between large caps and mids in terms of the kind of demand those funds have been seeing?
Allow me to add also the SIF basket into this conversation, where we have seen tremendous amount of interest in SMID, as you rightly put it. If you see the small cap and the mid cap, stocks were up 7-8%. Large cap market was only up 1.5-2%. So that is also something to ponder upon, that there is a renewed interest in small mid as a segment, and which is also reflecting in the numbers that we see. Also, the point on large cap being a little muted, I think there's also a reallocation of some large cap assets to hybrid, to SIFs. We are seeing strong inflow in the SIFs. I mean, you won't believe that our SIF the two scheme net numbers this month are more than the mutual fund numbers put together. So there's a renewed interest in people to reallocate their money to more nuanced asset classes, to more nuanced products where the risk return is very, very clear.
Very interesting point you make over there, Deepak. And since we're talking about renewed interest, let's also talk about the gold ETF and the inflow that once again gold ETFs have seen to the tune of 3,443 crores after seeing an outflow of close to 700 crores in the previous month. And in fact, the month of June's inflow is even bigger than the one that we saw in April as well as March. Talk to us about how you're looking at the demand for gold right now. Of course, gold prices had fallen off. They have been under pressure of late, and it looks like investors are making the best use of that.
In fact, I'll give you one more example of investor maturity. This is one. In March also, if you saw that when markets corrected, there was a huge amount of inflow which investors really poured into the market and benefit from it. The similar behavior is at exhibition, that investors have really matured. When you have seen 30, 40, 50% correction, I mean, silver prices have moved from $110 to $60, almost 45% correction. So as gold has corrected 40%. And yet, when the prices have corrected, people are not running away. People are adding more money. So this shows a tremendous amount of maturity that Indian investors are exhibiting, and we must really appreciate that.
So absolutely, and that's a very good point to talk about, Deepak. So much more to discuss, but we'll end this conversation here. The numbers are looking quite nice, and Deepak, thank you so much for your time and for joining us to break down these numbers and make better sense of the AMFI numbers. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.